Out of all the counties in America, there's only one that has gotten every presidential race correct in each cycle since 1980. That means out of all of the presidents in that time, from Reagan to Bush to Clinton to Bush again to Obama to Donald Trump and now to Joe Biden, Clallam has gotten that election correct. Clallam County is a county on the northwest tip of Washington state. It's really remote, and it's made up of three main towns. You have Forks, which is the home of the Twilight series. Then you have Sequim and Port Angeles, which are more politically mixed and have the towns more makeup of older retirees and liberals. And you have the tribal communities that kind of fuel that. The county is right on the edge of Olympic National Park. You have a beautiful scenery of kind of mountains and water. It's historically been a town that's been controlled by the lumber and kind of milling industries. A bellwether county is kind of political jargon for a county that matches or oftentimes is a signal to how the broader election's going to go. In obviously the presidential election, we think of these type of bellwether counties as places that have been really critical in terms of understanding the fuller result. This specific place has matched up with how the broader national electorate went every single time. And so that's what we mean when we say bellwether. It doesn't mean that it's kind of causationally related, more so a correlation between how this county votes and what ends up happening in the rest of the country. And the thing is, it's partially a thing we can explain, and it's partially just luck. You know, one of the things that's true about Clallam is it does have a high rate of ideological diversity. So we went there and we spoke to people to really get a sense of this community, not only how they're feeling about the election in terms of who's going to win, but how they're feeling in terms of mood and the issues that really matter to them. For Democrats, there's one thing that comes up over and over and over, and it's concerns about Biden's age. These are people who like him as president, but simply think the man is too old. We had someone we talked to who said that she gets her news from radio and newspapers and likes what the Biden administration's doing. But the second they turned on the TV, they thought, oh my goodness, maybe he is older than I kind of had given credit for previously. And that's the sentiment we're kind of hearing from Democrats. For a lot of Republicans, the indictments against Donald Trump just don't register. There is a sense that the political system has been weaponized against the Republican candidate, and they see these current prosecutions as retribution for what he was doing while he was in office. While that is not factually based or tied to the real reality of what we have seen the government lay out in these indictments, both on the federal and state level, that's how these voters feel. And so it's very easy for them to dismiss each of the new claims of the indictments because they've already dismissed that this system is not one that gives them or their candidate a fair shake. For some people, it makes them double down on their support for Trump even more. The big thing I took from my time in Clallam was that the overwhelming anxiety and dread about next year's election has real tangible impacts on the way people are going to come to the next year. So you had so many people who talked about checking out of politics, who talked about tuning out the candidates, who talked about how they have changed so much since 2020 when they were posting on social media and really engaged more politically, that I think next year's election threatens to really be a question around apathy. And are these candidates and are these parties going to motivate a country that really feels that they're out of touch?